So if you'll just take deep breaths in through your nose and let yourself relax. Let yourself fall into that blessed, quiet garden in your heart. And with each breath in, know that you are blessing grace, pure grace, the grace of the universe flowing into you, blessing you, and touching each of the trillions of cells in your body with joy and with pure health. You are so blessed. With each breath you breathe in through your nose, breathe in that blessing. As that grace, that beautiful, beautiful gift of the seas, from the seagrasses, from the forests and the jungles, from the great plains, that oxygen that is their gift to you and to me, as we breathe in that gift, and we know that it's a gift, and can we allow it to go into each of our cells with gratitude and graciousness? And we remove from us any interferences or blockages that might be old shames or guilts or resentments or regrets. We remove all of those from our systems as we breathe out, breathing them out and letting them fly away. So that when we breathe in the forests and the jungles and the seagrasses and the plains, when we breathe in that beautiful oxygen, it goes freely into our cells and is not obscured by any of those impediments that so cripple our lives. You are free. You are free now. There is only joy. You were never born. You, spiritual being, living in that body, you were never born. You have always been. You will always be. Eternity does not stretch out away from us. Eternity is right here, right now, in this instant. And you are alive. and you are being blessed. And you're safe. And you are free. You are free. Any constraints on your freedom are self-imposed. Untie those knots now and let the shackles fall away and breathe through your nose. Freedom of being one child in the great garden of this universe. Be free. There is a river of grace that's flowing through your life right now and yesterday and tomorrow. But right now is eternity. So let's be right here, right now. There is a river of grace, a river of life, a river of the divine presence of the Creator, the great mind of the Creator flowing into you and through you as you. Can you feel yourself expanding? Can you feel yourself expanding outside your body? The presence of you outside of your body, expanding, still breathing gently. That river of grace has now become a sea of grace, and you are swimming in it, free, 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 completely empowered and free. There is no future, there is no past, there is only right now, in the eternal moment of right now, which never ends. It is still now. It is still now. It will always be now. In all of time, in all of space, in all of the multiverses, of which there are an unlimited number, there will always only be you. You will always be you. whole, perfect, and complete. You forever in this moment. The sea of grace in which you swim has no borders. You have been here forever. And if you look around you, you will see all of those you know and love, past, present, and future, all smiling, giggling, laughing, dancing, swimming, loving one another, loving you, blessing you. You're loved, you're blessed, you're safe, you're free. You are free. At your own pace, when you're ready, come back and join us, and we'll move on with today's lesson in self-confidence building. So, my dear ones, today we talk about self-confidence. Self-confidence. And I know this. I know you already have self-confidence. You've got tons. You'd never have accomplished all that you've accomplished. You'd have never done all that you've done if you didn't have self-confidence. And yet, there's no stopping place in the building of self-confidence. It goes on, and it becomes more and more exciting. And the more confidence we get, the more risks we take, and the more risks we take, the more we win, and the bigger life gets. The bigger life gets. The 5 benefits of self-confidence that are commonly touted are: number 1, you experience less fear and anxiety, and that is so true. People who are overridden by fear and anxiety have lower self-confidence than they otherwise would. So increasing your self-confidence decreases fear and anxiety, and it increases your motivation, obviously, because when fear and anxiety slacken off, then we feel more motivated, and you'll have more resilience. You'll be able to stay longer in the game. And when you have little failures and little things go wrong, they don't crush you. You come right back. And your relationships, all your relationships improve, because you and I are communicating with each other constantly. Not with words, but just with our sense of being. Our words are thoughts, or our thoughts are words, and they go out to each other. And so when we have more confidence, we are more available, and our relationships improve. And then lastly, and really, what I really think is the best is the authentic you will shine through. The biggest challenge to self-confidence is knowing that you're worthy and that you have value exactly as you are. That you're worthy and have value exactly the way you are, not any different. That's self-confidence. But we often devalue ourselves by the mistakes we make, don't we? We think that the mistakes are fatal and failures are fatal, but they're not. Without failures, without mistakes, there could never be wins. Babe Ruth, this most famous baseball player probably that ever lived, hit 714 home runs. And for years and years, for decades and decades and decades, people talked about those 714 home runs. What they never talked about is the 1,330 times he struck out. And he said about strikeouts, every strikeout gets me closer to the next home run. So when we're weakened by our strikeouts, we never will get to our home runs, will we? We came into this life to be strengthened by our mistakes and overjoyed by our successes. And that's how we get to success. That's how we create miracles. Thomas Edison, who created our electric lights, said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." If we forget who we are and what we're capable of, we can't see the opportunities that are around us. And we are showered with opportunities. Whatever you could possibly dream of is available for you. In the ethers around you, you can bring it into existence by vision and mission and a support team and confidence, and being willing to take risks, because risks are the step toward self-confidence, aren't they? Small risks. We don't have to take big risks. Like you can get to the top of the mountain by taking one giant step, or you can take a little steps. Doesn't matter. You still get to the top of the mountain. And if we are willing to take small risks and have small wins and acknowledge those wins, well, then that's how we grow in self-confidence. But when we're not focused on our capabilities or who we are, because we are not seeing who we are, then we don't see the opportunities around us. And if you don't see the opportunities around us, then how can we move forward? Richard Milne said, it's not the lack of ability or opportunity that holds us back. It's not the lack of ability or opportunity that holds us back. It's only a lack of self-confidence. It's only a lack of self-confidence, which engenders what? Self-doubt. And self-doubt is our greatest enemy, self-doubt. Self-confidence by most of us is regulated or decided by competition. And it starts when we go to school, when we're in grade school. You know, this guy or this gal has better clothes or sharper shoes or gets better grades or can hit the fastball farther or better at hopscotch or jacks or whatever. And so everything is competition. Marbles, it doesn't matter. Everything is competition. And we fall into a certain pecking order in that competition. But we're not. That's a ripoff. We're not in a pecking order. Hello, there's never been another you. There's never been another me. We're the only ones. So there can't possibly be any competition. Hello, can't possibly be any competition. But competition always degrades us. And it rewards only a few. And if we're not in that tiny group that win gold medals, then are we less? Should we then have less self-confidence? Like I said, there's never been and there never will be another you. And that alone makes you a miracle. No one has your mind, no one has your imagination. And the gifts that you bring to the world simply by being you, don't let anyone put a shadow on that. Anyone ever Then those old voices in your head from your parents or whatever, just shut those down and step out with your own light shining. That's your purpose for being here. When I was a teenager, I had no self-confidence, zero self-confidence, zero, blocked, no self-confidence at all. And I had a deep sense instead of shame and guilt and self-disgust. In 1997, I was living in a guy's garage and sleeping on a cot in the back of his garage and living on sandwiches. And one day he brought me a record and asked me to play it. And the record was Building Mind Power by Dr. Ben Sweetland. And I saw, oh, I don't know what this is, but I listened to it once and I was captivated by it. And then I started listening to him over and over again, day and night. I just played that record to death. And each time I played it, I felt something magnificent waking up inside me. It unfolded like a flower that had for too long been dormant. It just opened. I opened up. I automatically started looking at my potential and stopped defending my weaknesses and my failures. Richard Bach said, argue for your limitations, and sure enough, they're yours. And I have for 18 years been arguing for my limitations, but my mind changed on that day. And lights I never even imagined existed came on inside my mind. And since that day, I've never stopped seeking my value to the world. I'd like for you to remember that, seeking your value to the world. Seeking your value to the world. What value do you bring to the world? What can you say, do, be, have? What can you generate? What can you donate? What can you contribute? Who can you coach? Who can you help? Who can you smile at? What can you bring to the world that isn't already here? You can do that. You can do that. So let's set small confidence building goals today and accomplish those through acknowledging ourselves. And even a small one is enough. Just say to ourselves, I did that. I created that. That's the way to self-confidence, self-acknowledgement rather than self-judgment. Christopher Robin in the 100-Acre Wood said, always remember that you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. So if we're to reach the goal of being complete human beings, we must constantly be expanding ourselves, even a little bit each day. That's 365 expansions a year. Expand to the widest degree possible right now. And then as we discover the miracle of who we are each and every day, our self-confidence will constantly expand. Mark Twain said, 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than the things you did do. So throw off the bow lines. Throw off the bow lines. Sail away from the safe harbor. Catch the tide. Catch the trade winds in your sail. Explore. Dream. Discover. This is a wide, beautiful paradise we live in. Don't allow yourself to be subjugated by old doubts or feelings or recriminations. Let yourself go. Each time you breathe out, breathe those out. Each time you breathe in the joy and the power and the world and the universe, and knowing that you are an eternal spiritual being living temporarily in this body, but the consciousness of who you are is permanent. Expand that in this paradise while you're here. Expand it. Now, for those of you who would like to take one of my classes, the Ho'oponopono class is coming up on the 29th of this month at 7 o'clock in the evening. You just go to my website, bobtrask.com or bobtrask.com. You just go to my website and you'll find all the information right there. Oh, it's going to be really an incredible class. And I thank you for honoring me by joining me today. It's always wonderful having you in my family and having you on my Sunday mornings. And if you enjoyed today's message, please share it with other people so we can get a lot of people on board. And please make a donation to help us keep these weekly resets coming. You'll find the donate button in the upper right-hand corner of my website, bobtrask.com. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being in my family.